Nothing. Hey everyone, welcome to this afternoon in Bitcoin. We're going to have a second edition to our morning show today in Bitcoin. I was not able to make the morning show. I was part of the conference. It was just Thomas Hunt, but now that it's morning in New York and we're able to join by Jimmy, let's go through with a few other headlines that have hit the news since this morning, along with a little bit of a price dip. And we'll go over them. So Jimmy, go ahead and say hi.
Hey guys, yeah, it's Saturday morning here in Austin, so I sympathize with all of you that are up this morning. Yeah, usually I sleep in, but you know, it looks like there's some stuff going on, so I have to be on the air.
Yeah, I'm actually coming to you guys live from the rooftop of the Blockchain Hotel. There'll be like a few people coming out here, grabbing cups of coffee. Thought that my presentation is going to be in about an hour, so figured let's just jump on live and talk about the latest news.
All right, great.
All right, so no, not much of a structure to the show. Oh, all right, a little sound difficulty here. I'm going to go right into screen shares. There's a couple of stories I really want to talk about, okay? I guess let's start with China. And let me see where we are here. Oh, wrong tab. This is the seminar in coming up in California, which we'll get to later, maybe in announcements. All right. So a bit of news came out. So somebody did a translation of what the Chinese government wants to do, and I guess you guys can read it on the screen. But as you can see here, we don't know if this is real yet, right? So the last time there was a piece of news saying China was going to ban oil trading, it actually turned out to be the case. This time around, we'll also see how right they are, but it's very clear it's not just the Chinese exchanges that they're going to ban. They're actually going to try and ban Bitcoin. They're going to try and make sure none of their citizens can buy and sell Bitcoin by stopping access to things like Coinbase and Bitfinex and local Bitcoins. The problem is you can't really stop Bitcoin. Stopping Bitcoin is like trying to stop BitTorrent. It's very hard to stop local Bitcoins. Yes, you can eliminate their IPs, but people use VPNs all the time. I mean, Facebook is banned in China and Google is banned in China, and everyone that wants to use them still uses them. Now, the really interesting thing here, and Jimmy, you and I should kind of probably mention it, pools and nodes are mentioned, right? So remember, this is a fuzzy translation, but this is the part. Let me see if I can fit all of it on the screen so people can like pause it or later. Here, begin and end. Perfect. So this is the whole thing on one page. So right here where it says in number 3, according to research of Network Safety Bureau through the DPI identification system in the GFW to abandon the block data, the ability of block sync will be disabled. This action needs configuration in L1 authorization of GFW. The IT Bureau will be responsible for it. Then it says, meanwhile, to prevent the domestic block nodes to sync with the nodes abroad, the government will monitor the communication between the domestic block nodes with the pool, and then it says Appendix 4, I guess there is a document. In case of emergency, cut down on network of the pools. So what does this, okay, it says monitor highly on the Bitcoin network's communication via bridge connection, Tor and VPN, etc. In 4 most frequent requests. So it looks like now China is going to get serious about people using VPNs. Jimmy, what do you think about all this, and what do you think it means, and can it be achieved? And what do you think about what does this do for mining in China going forward?
Yeah, great question. I'm not entirely certain, but just looking at Appendix 4, like the original, they list a bunch of the most popular exchanges around the world: Coinbase, OKCoin, Bitsum, Bittrex, Coin1, Bitflyer, Bitstamp, Bitstar, Bitfinex, Poloniex, Kraken, BitMEX, local Bitcoin. So those are the highest volume ones. They're missing some, obviously, because there's a lot more exchanges than that. But obviously, they want to sort of block. It sounds like they want to block access to those. But the other one that's interesting is they're blocking the DNS seeds. That is crazy. These are seed.bitcoin.sepa.be, dnsseed.bluemat.me, dnsseed.bitcoin-junior.org. These are core developers that have, that provide access to other Bitcoin nodes. I'm kind of surprised that 21's, they provide access to different Bitcoin nodes and stuff like that. So this is clearly sort of an attempt to control Bitcoin as much as possible in China. It does sound like this is the first time I'm seeing this. I literally woke up 20 minutes ago, and Tone asked me to be on the show. So I'm literally looking at this for the first time. But it does sound like Bitcoin is trying to be banned in China. It sounds like they're going to have some exceptions for mining. I'm not sure how they're going to get the transactions and stuff. Presumably, the mining pools will have some access, but sort of the normal person that's trying to transact in Bitcoin, they're going to severely restrict. And I imagine this, the reason that they would do this would be to restrict capital outflows and basically make everyone get a license or something like that. I'm guessing they don't like the fact that people are sort of doing this without their permission. There's even something about Tor and VPN there. I'm not sure how you restrict either of those. I guess they don't have anything about I2P or any of these other things. So it's this is pretty serious, and I wonder what it will do, because if this becomes sort of a crackdown, I guess, by the Chinese government, how are they going to enforce it? Are they going to just block all VPNs? There's a lot of VPNs, and they're popping up all the time. So you can go and get, VPN. You can sign up for private internet access or something like that, and they have nodes all over the place. Are they going to block private internet access so you can't log into them and get your VPN nodes or whatever? I don't know. And this gets to be a big cat and mouse game. But it definitely looks like volume from China is going to go down. If local Bitcoins is shut down, I very much imagine that there would be a Chinese version or something like that. And you wonder if they would shut that down as well. To some degree, I wonder if this is to sort of spur more activity within China and not have dependencies on foreign companies like that, because they can control all those companies within China. So yeah, it's very, very difficult to say exactly what it will mean.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for that, Jimmy. I'm gonna get back to my computer, brother. Oh, man, I'm getting an echo. I don't know why. But okay, so there's a couple of things here. So it looks like they are. The big question was, what does the shutdown of exchanges mean for the mining in China? And this is a bit of a two-edged sword, right? This is the problem with news. You don't always know if the news is going to be positive or negative. I always say to people, if you knew the CEO was getting fired and no one else did, do you short the stock ahead of time, or do you buy the stock ahead of time, right? Because some people will see it as, oh my God, the company is in disarray, the CEO is fired, and other people will see it as, wow, the company's finally doing something right, they're getting rid of the biggest dead weight they have. So everyone has always been complaining about mining being centralized in China. If the government of China cracks down on mining, I know there's going to be a short-term problem, but wouldn't this potentially remove the fear of Chinese centralization?
Well, so from the mining panel, what I learned was that a lot of the equipment is sort of jurisdictionally spread out. So a lot of these companies may be based in China, but they have their operations in different places. I think there's a reason why Bitmain put a huge facility in Mongolia, for example. And I imagine this will spur more companies to just sort of spread out their operations all over the place. Yeah, there's clearly, you know, China's a manufacturing, you know, powerhouse, so they do have that going for them. But if the jurisdiction is sort of a negative, then I imagine what they'll end up doing is just selling a lot of the, you know, manufacture it somewhere else, or manufacture it and then ship it out to other places and make that the key. So I guess we're joined by Richard. What's going on?
Yeah, hey, we're now joined by Richard. Hey, Richard, I don't know if you were watching before you joined, but we're talking about a new document that got released from China, translated into English, and it seems like they're trying to go after Bitcoin mining. What do you think about that? Oh, maybe Richard's not on yet. So.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, guys, I just had to plug in my earphones so you don't get feedback.
Oh, here he is. We got him.
I'll turn on my camera in a second. What did I miss? How long have you guys been live?
Like 5-10 minutes.
God damn, that's a long time. You guys
not much at all. Well, no, just this part. Like, there's a document that's talking about how they want to also potentially try to you know, take some more control of the mining in China. Now, again, I'm always prepared for this, right? Like, I've always, like, I don't understand how people expect Bitcoin to be this, you know, the breaker of government control over the people, and at the same time expect the government to, like, cooperate with Bitcoin, right? It's like this delusion that, oh, we want the government to just leave us alone and let Bitcoin be, as Bitcoin destroys the banks and destroys their financial system and removes every politician from power, and every politician is supposed to lay down and let Bitcoin just do that. I've always expected a fight, and this is, I guess, the beginning of that fight.
All right, I think you're going to like my input on this because
and one more. And the real irony is, all of us in Bitcoin have been complaining about the centralization of Bitcoin in China, and now that the Chinese government is cracking down on it, we're now critical of the Chinese government. Isn't it kind of helping to decentralize the world a little bit?
Okay, so first things first. This is the internet, and a lot of stupid things go on the internet. And so, while the news we've been getting out of China has seemed to be trustworthy, you can't just trust any document that appears. And this document didn't come from a journalist. However, it was linked to a journalist, and if you go to that journalist page, you'll see that there's no reference to that document. So, that document could be complete bullshit. It's not unprecedented. It's happened many times before. And another thing that you have to wonder is, if that document is legit, you know, why wasn't it front run by a bunch of cells, as we've seen with some of the other documents? You know, 10 or 20 minutes before, there's a big dump. And if that document is legit, you know, let's take the binary, right? So most people will say
there was a bit of a dump on this document over the last 3 hours or so. So
right,
I think this is affecting the price a little bit.
Yeah, it could be. Like after it, but not before it. Like
sure, but yeah, it can go either way. It could have been after, before.
Let's say it's real.
It's having an effect. It's having an effect. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let's say it's real. Okay. What has happened to the price of Bitcoin in every single country that it has been banned in? And it is banned in a lot of countries. It's gone up, and it's gone up a lot. For the same reason that if they were to ban Coca-Cola tomorrow and you were told that you weren't going to be able to buy it anymore, you'd buy all the Coca-Cola you could find because you saw utility in it. Now, if you go and Google smuggling gold into China, you're going to find out that kilograms upon kilograms of gold are seized at the border by people trying to smuggle gold into China because they've got capital controls and their currency doesn't hold its value, and they're restricted from trying to maintain the value of their net worth by purchasing assets that hold their value, such as foreign real estate and other things. And they have to find all these fancy ways to evade the capital controls that Americans barely understand because they've never experienced them. But a capital control means that the money that you earn and the money that you work for and the money that you've saved, you can only spend it in your country. And you could spend max like 50 grand a year outside the country, and that's it. And if you want to spend more than that, you got to lie, cheat, steal, break the law, pay people to evade all that stuff for you. Now, if it's the case that Bitcoin acts in China as it has in every other country, the price will go up. And if it is the case that that news is real, the price dropped from 36 to 33 and jumped, what did it go, 38 to 30? Well, let's look at the chart. In the last hour, the high was 38.67, I guess. Yeah, 38.67.
We went 35 to 38 to 35.
Right, and then we spiked up.
So right there, we went from about 38, and now we're still falling. We're just at 35 now.
I don't know about the falling thing. So if you look at who the leaders are going to be, right? This ban does not affect Americans, and it doesn't affect any other nation. It only affects China. And so the exchanges and the humans that got the information first were Chinese people. The people that are the most awake are Chinese people. And if you look at the Chinese exchanges, like for instance, I'm looking at OKCoin, it dumped to 18,500 and immediately pumped to 1912, where it's just oscillating now. So if you look at the order books, the order book got extremely thin on the sell side, which in my experience shows people taking bids and eating into the bids and making the price go down. But in this case, the price isn't going down with a small book, the price is going up. So it's not that the sell side is thin because people are eating up bids and going down in price. The sell side is thin because people are unwilling to sell their coins. Now, if you want to share screen and show everybody this thin order book that I'm talking about, I'll drop a link in the chat. You guys can go to bitcoinity.org, but don't click what you're used to clicking, which is just the normal price chart. You're going to click the data link, and then you're going to click the combined order book.
I have a bit of limited internet at the moment, so I don't think it would load for me if I do it.
Can you do it, Jimmy? If I give you a link so that the chat can see this order book I'm talking about?
Yeah, you know what? Throw the link in our chat, yeah. And I'll try and open it.
Sure. I'm doing it now. That's the link.
All right, let's see if the chat can see this.
Yeah, they'll be able to see it. It'll pull up in a second. So the point is, when you see this order book, you're going to see tons and tons of volume and millions of dollars and thousands of coins on the bid side, and you're going to see nothing on the sell side. And that usually happens when people are just eating every bid and driving the price down because they feel it would be a waste of time to post asks higher up in the book, right? But now the book is thin and the price isn't going down. It's either flat or up, and that's great. That means that China has decided that if coins are going to get more rare, that they're going to be more valuable and they're willing to pay more for them, which is something that I was predicting earlier today. Now, does that mean that in the next 12 hours, a couple whales don't decide to just dump their coins and we don't see a price drop? Sure, it's possible. But they had that opportunity how many different times today, right? Jimmy, you want to click that link? Or you don't have
maybe
screen
Jimmy can
shareability?
try it. I mean, once it loads, I'll share a screen again, but for now, I can't. All right, no, that's a good point, Richard. And again, I've been busy with conferences, so I haven't had time to look into the internal effects of this stuff. It's more like I saw the price dropping. I saw people in my group chats talking about that document. I figured, you know what, let's talk about it on the air. But the main reason why I wanted to come on is to talk about the next topic. I can't stay on long. I actually got to go give a presentation. So I do want to jump over to the next topic. And that's about the JP Morgan tweets that came out. I think DeSantis and then somebody else. Let me see if the order book came back. It's trying to load it.
Could I mention something else about this China situation?
Sure, go ahead. Want to pull up the other thing?
So Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that has a satellite working where you can do transactions without internet. So China can ban the internet, block the internet all they want. And if Blockstream doesn't already have them covered, it may not be that hard to activate it. So if there's any cryptocurrency that'll be able to survive China banning screw-arounding this, it is Bitcoin, because we already have infrastructure to take transactions over SMS. We already have infrastructure to transmit data over firewalls, and great firewalls, right? No other cryptocurrency has that. So whereas people thought that the satellites didn't have much utility, think about how important they are when the internet's being censored. Super important.
Gotcha.
You guys
All
see
right,
my
so
thing?
Look at how order book thin that is. There's 3 times as many coins on the buy side as the sell side. It rarely ever gets
well,
that
wait,
thin.
no, we don't see your screen, Jimmy.
I'm screen
It's
sharing.
there. Yeah, it's there. I see it now.
Oh, I don't. Okay, cool. As long as you guys see it.
Well, click. You got to click his screen.
No, I did. It's just not. Like I said,
Oh.
I'm running with little bandwidth here.
Jimmy, click. No, you've got to click Jimmy's camera. You're looking at your camera currently in the bottom corner, and our little icons, his face. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, no, I have Jimmy on focus, but
Yeah, I can see it on my screen. I don't. It doesn't seem to be showing on the main screen. So
no, it's just a big blank thing. It's fine. Anyway, it's
I see
okay,
it.
guys.
I see it. I
You
see
see
it
it
fine.
see it in the corner, but
As
not
long
on
as
the
Jimmy's
screen.
talking, it pops up.
Really?
Okay. All right, cool. As long as you
Jimmy,
can see
hum
it.
a song so the chat can see it.
What do you
Oh,
want me to
no, it's on me. I have Jimmy in focus. Well, like if
do? Okay.
he's just not coming through on my end, but that's okay.
I think what you can see there is basically the buy side. There's a lot of demand, but not much on the sell side, and I think that's really what Richard's talking about. Is that
Right.
you know, if you go out like to 3250, there's like 14,000, you know, in terms of on the buy side, and about 5,800 on the sell side. So tremendous buy pressure, but not much sell pressure. And you know, you can see it like on Bitfinex towards the bottom here. There's a lot more you know, on the buy side than sell side. The other exchanges seem to, you know, be slightly different, but yeah, I mean, it's fairly clear that there's more demand and there's a lot of people waiting to buy.
Now, the only other time I see this shape is when people don't waste their time putting asks higher on the order book. They just sell directly into the bids, and the price is moving down. I've never seen this shape with the price flat or moving up. And we've never had more bad news. Every single piece of bad news that could come out has come out. And the price only dropped $200-300 on a day where we're up 20%. This is as bullish as it can get, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I also agree with the bullish stance now, because what I said on my Twitter, I haven't had much time to do videos lately, that once BTC China published the fact that they have to close operations by September 30th, there was an inherent assumption from all of the traders that all Chinese exchanges would need to be shut down by September 30th. And when the news came out that some of them have extra time, that turned out to be, you know, more positive news than anything else. Like, everything has already been priced in. We just fell from 5,000 to 3,000. That's a pretty deep correction. I mean, that we're talking almost 50%, right? I mean, that was like a 40% correction. And all the bad news has already been priced in. That's why I think this $3,000 price is here to stay. But I do want to move on to another piece of news, just for time purposes, because I can't stay on too long. And this was that JP Morgan news. So there was two things that were, two pictures that were published. I hope you guys can see my screen, but it doesn't seem to be coming up, unfortunately. Yeah, again, bandwidth issues. But basically, people started tweeting about 12 hours ago that, hey, Jamie Dimon said that, you know, Bitcoin is a fraud and all this stuff, and here's JP Morgan buying Bitcoin. That is complete nonsense. This is what I mean by most people in the space don't understand finance. They have no idea what JP Morgan even does outside of retail banking. And The moment I saw that, oh man, I really want to go back to the tweet now. I mean, here's my tweet. I can't seem to pull up the images, but you can read my tweet that the moment I saw it this morning, I said, this makes 0 sense. There's no way in hell JP Morgan, the banks, or their prime brokerage, is buying Bitcoin on behalf of JP Morgan. Their traders are all monitored. Every trade you make at JP Morgan, not only as not only as a trader for the JP Morgan prop desks and their proprietary trading desks. Not only is every single trade monitored by by his boss and his boss and his boss and the compliance team, an employee of the side of JP Morgan Chase that involved in investments. Every employee has to disclose every trade they make. When I worked at Bear Stearns, we had some of the toughest criteria of all the investment banks. I had to tell the compliance department what I planned to buy. I wasn't even allowed to short what I planned to go long with. And then I wasn't even allowed to sell my position for 30 days. 30 days. There was an exception. If I lost 20% on my position in less than 30 days, I was then allowed to exit early. And I still needed to submit my permission. Even ETFs had to follow this regulation. Okay, this is how insane it is. So you think some schmuck is able to just go to a public website and find out what JP Morgan's proprietary desks are trading? You are insane, okay? What you see on the screen, all those JP Morgan brokerage transactions, they're just wire transfers because there are normal people that aren't affiliated with JP Morgan that are using them as custodians to buy this Bitcoin ETN. That's all it is. This is not JP Morgan. Now, this is JP Morgan acting as a middleman for people to use their money, for them to do whatever the hell they like. You should be happy JP Morgan is doing this, because when you blow this FUD bullshit news out of proportion, you know what might happen tomorrow? JP Morgan might make a public statement that any client in JP Morgan that wants to buy this Bitcoin ETF or ETN, first of all, if you don't know what an ETN is, don't be tweeting this stuff out, because you are totally clueless about what the product even is. ETF is an exchange-traded fund. ETN is an exchange-traded note. If you don't know the difference between the two, go Google it first before you start speculating what JP Morgan is and isn't buying, okay? I know the difference between the two. I used to do risk analysis on these things, okay? Back while I was working for JP Morgan. So this is completely insane. This is the kind of fake news that Bitcoiners get out of proportion because they do not understand the financial system. They do not understand markets. They traded altcoins for 6 months and they think they know trading. They think they understand like the history of financial markets and trading since the 1929 crash because they traded Dogecoin for Aurora coin, okay? This is the experience that we're dealing with people. So you keep pushing JP Morgan with FUD news, and the next thing you're gonna hear is people aren't even able to buy Bitcoin ETFs or ETNs because they have an account affiliated with JP Morgan that isn't willing to move their money for them. Okay, so I really wanted to say it because this news is really being blown out of proportion. Why don't you guys go ahead and give your comments? My rant's done. Oh man, I think I was focused on Jimmy the whole time, so people couldn't even see my tweet. Here it is. Here's the tweet. Here's the news. You guys did, but I didn't realize I had it. I had it on Jimmy. So that's Jimmy, what I was talking about the whole time.
Took some more time to talk about price.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin has drawn down 40% a bunch of times before with no China ban. The fact that we bounced 25% up, I mean, we're flying through the roof right now. While we've been on this call, the price literally went from 35.70 to 36.70. Like the price is up $100 on our 5-minute call here. The fact that Bitcoin could take a 40% drawdown on every piece of bad news possible, Jamie Dimon on television, China ban 1, China ban 2, China ban 3, staggered. They stagger each exchange closing, each piece of news timed out, just like WikiLeaks does when they want to like get maximum impact for their press releases for leaks against the governments. They stagger them, and that's exactly what China's been doing. And after all of that FUD and all of that staggering, we're up at 3,700. 3,700. A couple weeks ago, we didn't think we could break 3,000, right? I mean, how much more bullish could it possibly get? These things are going to be
maybe a month ago.
Right, a month ago. So my point is, I don't know another piece of bad news that could move this price down. And China's buying. The states are buying. GDAX is leading. You remember the last time GDAX led by 100 or 2? We blew through every piece of resistance that showed up because that whale money is sitting in GDAX. And by the way, JP Morgan might not be buying. Who cares? Everyone else is. How do you think the price got here? The price is where it is now because the 1%ers are getting in and they're bringing their friends with them. You can't even buy stuff. You can't even buy anything with Bitcoin yet. Imagine when you can. The 1%, there's only 5 million Bitcoin addresses with more than $100 in them. Imagine when there's 10 million. There's only, like, the guy in television who was the biggest bear on Wall Street last year is predicting $25,000 Bitcoins just with getting 5% of gold. And that's with no future value priced in. That's with no unit of exchange priced in. That's just with store of value, 5%, $25,000 coins. This thing is going to the moon. I think it's going to go to 6,000. And I love watching Max Kaiser's 10,000 tweets because you know what? Bitcoin's worth whatever we say it is. If everyone decides to blow it through the moon and make it worth everything and not dump and just hold it, it just goes through the roof because we don't have actual costs, right? We don't have to buy ads and pay employees to sit around and manage this thing. The price can go through the roof because it doesn't cost much to blow the price through the roof. People just deposit money and the price goes through the roof. The only people that have real expenses are the miners. And, you know, if they mined less, the price would go up even higher. Like if we had a slowdown where the mining slowed down for a while and the coins became more rare, transaction fees would go up and Bitcoin price would go up. And we've seen this. Every exchange that's ever gone down, Bitcoin price goes up. Mt. Gox went down, price went up. BTC went down, price went up. Every exchange, every country that turns Bitcoin off, the price goes up. I couldn't be more bull.
Yeah, no, Richard. Yeah, you mentioned Max Kaiser, and I just remembered. Hey, shout out to Max Kaiser. He replied to one of my tweets that I sent out at the very bottom of yesterday's price. I said it in that airplane show, and then I tweeted that out right as the price was bottoming before it completely reversed. Hey, Max, hope you made good money, man. Not sure you need it, but I'm always happy when people make money.
I think one of the great things about Max Kaiser is that he has an audience, and he's funny. He's actually a comedian, and he knows what he's talking about as far as banking goes. He has pretty interesting people on his interviews, and he's not afraid to stick it to the man. Like I consider myself slightly outrageous. He's 10 times more outrageous. So he's fun to watch. He really will. I mean, he does a Jamie Dimon tapeworm coming out of a butt impersonation on stage. And he's listen, guys, Bitcoin is worth what we say it is. Don't be afraid to sing its praises and tweet out that it's the best thing since sliced bread, because the perception is the value. Bitcoin has value because we says it does. And the longer that we says it do, the more the price goes up. No one's actually using this stuff. No one's actually buying anything. The value is what we say it is, literally.
Hey guys, let's do you or Jimmy, let's get Jimmy back in here. Jimmy, do you want to comment on this JP Morgan news? I don't know if you've seen it before just now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Bitcoiners are overreacting and you know, talking about conspiracy theories. That's kind of part and parcel of this whole community. You know, it's always a conspiracy theory when price moves or something happens, or they're always looking for a good hypocrisy thing to condemn. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. But what you said makes sense to me. You know, first of all, if you are JP Morgan and you are Jamie Dimon and your plan is to condemn Bitcoin so you could buy it, it would not be public. You'd be an idiot. There's so many ways in the financial world where you can hide what you're actually buying. That doing it this way would be the stupidest, most idiotic way to do it possible. So, I'd hate to disappoint the conspiracy theorists, but guys, you gotta do a little due diligence. This is how you lose credibility, and you end up sort of, like next time something actually is the case, and you have a conspiracy theory that's actually true, and somebody actually, and you have good evidence for it. They're going to point to this one and say, "What you see? These guys were idiots before, and they don't have any credibility left to assert this, conspiracy theory." So that's my gut instinct on this. It's just it doesn't make sense on its face. I really do feel like a lot of Bitcoiners kind of go overboard on this stuff. I mean, it's fine. There will always be some portion, but don't blow it out of proportion, guys. It just makes the community look bad.
Why does Jamie Dimon hate Bitcoin? Because he thinks the price is going to go to zero and everyone's going to get hurt. He's been wrong for as long as he's known about Bitcoin. How long are you going to listen to this guy be wrong before you realize he's not a tech entrepreneur? He doesn't understand technology the way that we do. He has a vested, biased interest to see this thing fail. He's been doing everything he can to crap talk it to anyone that'll listen. And look what power he has. Nothing. China banning it, we're right back at 3,600. This guy talking all that smack, 3,600. Screw them all. The more they talk, the more wrong they are. I don't know why anyone would take an opinion on this particular issue.
Yeah, no, Richard. I agree with that. And I tried to explain this on last night, the Bitcoin group, where I said people have to realize that when you have someone the stature of Jamie Dimon, he's not he doesn't have time to read and study Bitcoin. He's a very busy man. Being a CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world, you're busy. Everyone comes to you. They're not coming to him. And when you're at that stature, you can't just call some low-level analyst like I was at JP Morgan and say, hey, can you come into my office? Can you explain the Bitcoin to Jamie Dimon? That doesn't happen, because if that rumor spreads, if there's a side of this kind of weakness from someone like Jamie Dimon, where he called in like a junior analyst to explain Bitcoin to him, his stock might dip. People that respect him may not respect him as much. These guys have to show a position that they understand, but they are too busy to actually learn, and you end up in this situation. Also, I think he's positioning to be the next Treasury Secretary or the next federal chairman. So why on earth would he be a Bitcoin supporter? He has to be anti-Bitcoin because his future job might depend on him supporting the government against Bitcoin. I mean, you got to look at it from his point of view, and nobody ever does.
Everyone on this call has made better price predictions than Jamie Dimon in this area forever. None of us has come even close to making a bad call compared to his. And actually, since I've been making calls, I've been pretty all right with it. I'm pretty happy with the performance thus far. And I think everyone's happy with Tone's performance because look at how many followers he's got. People follow your advice and they make a lot of money. How many people got that 29.50 dip? A lot of money.
A few people did, man. I got a bunch of people replies like, holy shit, they got it, including Max Kaiser. You saw that tweet, right?
Yeah. And the great part is, now that it's come true once, it'll come more true the next time, because now you're showing.
I don't know if I want that kind of responsibility, but speaking of price,
it doesn't matter, man. You're gonna have it. I mean,
why not you? Someone's gonna have it.
The voice of Bitcoin price and stuff. So you gotta take it.
Hey guys, we're at over 1,000 live viewers right now. By the way, we weren't even on for that long
when we started, so that's pretty good.
I know. We're up to 1,000 live viewers. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm here from the rooftop of the Blockchain Hotel. The conference is going on downstairs. In about 10 minutes, I'm gonna have to go down there and prepare for my presentation. And that's also why I can't run up all the battery on my phone. If one of you two wants to log in as the World Crypto Network, you can keep this call going if you like, and then take some audience questions. I just want to conclude on with the price of Bitcoin. It's just my projections. I'll probably do my economics show later today, but right now, let me get back to the price of Bitcoin. Let me just take a look at the charts real quick for you. For those of you that are joining late, we talked about what could be FUD, what could be potential upcoming news out of China that had a little, that did affect the price a little bit this morning. Potentially, it sounds like China will also go after the mining, or at least try to regulate the mining. And then, of course, we talked about this FUD news of JP Morgan not actually buying any Bitcoin, and I explained it, so please go back earlier this video when we talked about it. This is just JP Morgan sending wire transfers on behalf of their, as a custodian on behalf of their clients. This has nothing to do with the JP Morgan Chase buying or speculating in Bitcoin. That's just ridiculous. But let's look at the price. Here's the weekly chart. And for some reason, my indicators are not happy loading right now, just not enough bandwidth. But if we look at the weekly chart, oh, here it is. So this is interesting, right? Because we were on our way to get back above 4,000. And if we were to get back above $4,060 by tomorrow night, so tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, if we can close above 4060, this actually becomes a green 9 sell signal on my indicator, and it might actually be more bullish for Bitcoin to stay below 4,000 this weekend and then set us up for another run up going forward. Okay, if I jump over to the monthly chart, at least with my indicators, though this may not work, on a monthly chart we still have 2 more months of upside. I was looking for that ultimate November top coinciding with the 2x, but now it looks like 2x isn't even going to happen. And here's the daily chart. On the daily chart, we had this huge rebound. You saw my tweet from earlier, I think, if I was sharing screen. I think I'm not sharing that part at the moment, but over here yesterday, I tweeted out right at the bottom that 2950 to 3000 is a perfect buy point, but nothing is guaranteed. The moment you go back to below 3000, you have to realize you've made a mistake, and then I said you had a chance to buy back at 2750 this Sunday, and if not, we're going way lower. I don't even know how low, because 3000 was my significant support point to bounce the price. I really didn't want to speculate on what happens next, and hopefully I'll never have to speculate on what happens next again, as we never get back down to 3000. Here's the monthly chart. See, it's one of my sevens, so I am looking for 2 more months of upside. Hopefully we'll be at 7,500 sometime this year, and then we might have a deeper and more prolonged correction. But the daily looks like it's coming to an end. If we can get a 9 tomorrow, it's not going to be a perfect 9, but it's still a 9, signaling a potential buy point back to the upside. The way this 9 right here told me to be careful and take my long profits and potentially short Bitcoin. I mean, I don't actually trade Bitcoin, but theoretically, that's what I would have done. The moment I see a red 9 tomorrow, I'm going to treat it like a complete opposite. You go from a green 9 to a red 9, and boom, you go in the opposite direction. We've seen this before, right? Like over here, you had a red 9 telling you, hey, you got to sell, and then it down, 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 and boom, you got a red 9 right there telling you maybe it's time to buy. The next day, the price reversed, and we went to all-time highs. Is this the same thing? Is this a green 9 leading into a red 9 leading into all-time highs? That's really what I'm looking for. Zooming in on a 4-hour, our count broke. That's not a bad thing. That means we could set up right now for a brand new 4-hour 9 count. And finally, on the 1-hour chart, we had like a little bit of support. We had like this 13 probably should not have been there. I think it should have been canceled. I got to check the code. But either way, this was a sign that this 9 bearish momentum is over. Let's see how this news plays out. I remain very bullish here. I'm not expecting sub 3,000 prices again until potentially late this year or early next year, if the next correction in Bitcoin is more significant. We could see sub 3,000, but for now, for the rest of this month and next month, I believe the low is in. I can, of course, be wrong, But right now, I think if you are entering into a Bitcoin trade, stop loss right below 3,000, and you can and you can make that trade. Hey, I'm still live. Am I speaking next? You want to say hi?
I
You
hear
want to in 10 minutes? You want to say hi on live camera? You're the organizer of the conference. We're live streaming, 1,000 live viewers right now.
You gotta
Come on over. Hold on a second, guys.
screen.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right now. Stop sharing. And here we go. Oh wait, let me give you a microphone. Hold on. I'm prepared today.
Wow. It's great.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Gideon, introduce yourself and tell us about. Yeah, you good right there.
Perfect.
You have the camera right there.
We are
Probably
here
hard
at the
to see.
rooftop, as you can see, from the Blockchain Hotel in Essen, Germany. I'm Gideon Galasch, the co-founder, one of the co-founders, and we are offering workshops around about the blockchain space, also newbie workshops, but smart contract expert workshops also, yes.
Oh, keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, just for him myself.
Yeah. In case the guys want to ask questions, you can now hear them.
Yeah. Feel free to join our meetups, to contact us. We have a special offer for communities at the weekend. So you pay nearly nothing to join the hotel, have a hackathon or whatever here. Yeah, I think that's the most important information.
Cool. And how's the event been going so far? You've been enjoying the presentations?
How the event was so far, please.
Well, no, it's been interesting. There were some interesting presentations.
Yeah.
But is it what you were expecting? Is it your first conference, right?
The first conference in this size, yes. We make a lot of meetups since months, so they were much smaller, of course. Yes, we had 2 or 3 speakers each meetup, and right now we have over 30, including Tone. So it was amazing. For me, it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be coming up to speak in about 30 minutes. I'm speaking.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to cut it short. But yeah, if you guys are ever in Essen, Germany, just Google Blockchain Hotel.
Exactly.
Google Blockchain Hotel. Place is awesome. You see us right here on the rooftop. People hanging out, having coffee. Nice presentations are just downstairs.
And all of your viewers from Tone, they will get a cost-free upgrade to Business Suite if they ping me in a private way via email. If they book a room at our hotel, we also offer a regular hotel service. So join us.
All right, guys. All right, I'll let you get back to the conference.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have the mic. Thank you for hosting us. All right, let me drop the other mic, and we'll be back. You know what? Maybe I don't want to have double sound.
Well, I'll talk while you're doing your thing. If you want to click my face or whatever.
I'm all set now. I think I went over with the price. Let me just do one last quick price chart. I think I missed the hourly chart. So I think you have to. Is this the? Yep, that's the hourly chart. Not really much here. So yeah, that's pretty much for the prices. And I'm gonna stop screen share and we can close out. But you guys are welcome to stay on without me if someone wants to log in as World Crypto Network.
I think I'm done, guys. I gotta go and take care of some stuff. So, but yeah, it's good to know that the conference is going well and that all this news that we're hearing is kind of fake for the most part. So we'll see how fake the China news is, and I'm sure we'll know more in the next couple of days.
All right, I just went over to the live chat. I don't know if anyone's been watching. If there were any good questions, if there were any donations, I haven't really been paying attention.
If no one else wants to stream,
to make sure my internet's working.
But I mean, I guess I would just do it on my channel.
Yeah, no, it's like it looks like Jimmy's gonna go unless someone logs in real quick. We'll probably call this a day. But yeah, like my final view on the price, and I might do my more lengthy show later today on my channel. I actually sent out another tweet fully explaining my little tweets about it. I don't really feel like pulling it up, but if you go to my Twitter, check out my last few tweets outside of explaining the JP Morgan misunderstanding. I sent out a tweet explaining my view on the price. Look, when someone like me says you have a perfect buy at 3,000, how the hell do you really think I'm a prophet? I mean, I don't know. I'm expecting it to bounce at 3,000. I have confidence in it. I'm 70% certain that that it's gonna bounce at 3,000. But just like if I make a coin with the weighted heads that lands on heads 70% of the time, I'm still not gonna bet my life's worth on a toss flip of that coin, knowing that I have a 70% advantage, because there's still a 30% chance it's going to land on tails. So therefore, when I say 3,000 is the perfect buy, that means that if it goes below that, I'm wrong. And it's simple as that. And then you try to buy back at a lower level, and then you try to find the right level where you think you have more than a 50% chance of a rebound back to the upside. That's how trading works. Some people just don't understand that. So right now, I'm expecting 3,000 to be the low, at least for the next few months. After that, who knows what's going to happen? There could be more catastrophic news. There could be another hard fork. Who knows? Okay. But for the time being, I'm not expecting it to get back to 3. I'm not even expecting it to get close to 3,000, because you do not get more than an hour to buy the low. People said that it was below 3,000 for a total of 15 minutes. That makes sense. Max Kaiser bought below 3,000. A few other people bought below 3,000. You don't get a day to decide to buy the low. You get 15 minutes. If you miss it, you miss it. That's a low. That's how lows are made.
All right.
All right, guys.
It looks
More
like
closing thoughts, or are we gonna?
I gotta get going. I got a bunch of things to do today, but
All right, saying goodbye to Jimmy. Rich,
I'm
for
gonna do
last
I'm gonna
statement.
do like a 5-minute stream on my thing on my channel. If anybody cares to Google it or
Okay.
whatever, I want to talk
All
about
right,
this
guys. If
importance of
anybody,
China shit. Have fun at your show.
thanks,
all right,
Richard.
cool. If anybody wants to continue listening to more explanations of China, feel free to shoot over to Richard's channel, and hopefully we'll have him on again on the World Crypto Network soon.
Sounds
Anytime
good.
there's drama, I'm
All right,
coming.
guys.
Bye.
Later.
Bye, guys.